So what does it really take to actually make an impactful design? So whether you're a business owner or maybe you're just a graphic designer looking for tips to make things even better, then this information is going to be pretty important. So welcome to your pro tips on how to make a successful design. All right, so let's start with something most people miss, and that's empathizing with your audience. It's really hard to just step into someone else's shoes and understand where they're coming from. But knowing how to do this is a pretty powerful skill. So it all comes down to understanding what your audience is dealing with, their challenges, their lifestyle. Now, obviously, this isn't something that's applicable to everybody. It's a general idea as to who your audience even is. But the only way to do this is by taking the time to understand them. Everybody is always looking for a solution to something. So for them to choose you instead of everybody else, you got to make that clear. So be the hero of their story. Be the expert that they need, because you're in competition with everybody else in the world. And that's tough. And the only way you're really going to stand out is by understanding who you're talking to and saying the exact things they kind of want to hear, but not being too fake about it either. The point is to actually answer their questions because you know what the answers are. And what most people do is try to sell the thing that they feel is worth value, when it's not really the way to go about it. You have to think from their point of view, right? What do they care about? What do they want to hear? What are they looking for? And how can you help them? Now, the reason why this is important is because every other step that follows in the creation process is going to be way easier to initiate. Now, the next important thing is to approach everything as creatively as possible. Now, I know that's super broad, but let's talk about it. Now, I've mentioned it before, but you want to understand the colors that need to go with your brand, the fonts that you're supposed to be using, and the kind of elements that you need to actually represent your message. So just be creative with it, because I know it feels limiting to stick within your brand all the time, but that's where your creative mind has to come in, right? That's where you can change up the imagery. That's where you can change up your messaging. Try different things. So it's all about storytelling. You can use high quality images, make sure they're high quality, to help actually represent what you're talking about. And you can use sites like Pixel Images or Unsplash. These are royalty free, so you're not going to get sued for using the content. So take advantage of it. There's actually really powerful AI tools that help you create powerful messaging. And guys, I'm going to create a video about it soon, so subscribe and stay up to date with me. Now, following this, you want a strong call to action. Everybody says this, but it's really hard to understand what that even really means. So just think about one thing. What do you want people to do when they find that piece of creative? Whether it's an advertisement, whether it's a banner, whether you've taken a bunch of pictures of your product and you just want to post it up there for people, it'd be pretty pointless if you just put all this out there without any real purpose, right? So know what you want them to do. Do you want them to buy something specific? Do you want them to subscribe to something? Do you want them to just learn more about some sort of product or take in information that maybe you're willing to offer? Do you just want to gain people's trust? Maybe you want people to go to a specific site or profile, or guys, there's so many options. You just have to be really clear about what you want them to do. Now, again, this has to sort of align with the very first thing that we talked about, which is to answer their problems and help them out. So just make sure it all connects. It could be as simple as putting a button, but placing it properly and showing exactly what you want them to do, like subscribe. People can be that simple about it. You can also be a little bit more complex and more creative with it. And you can do this by even triggering some sort of emotional state. You can do this by saying something that's actually going to resonate with people and then telling them how they can find the answer to it by maybe going here, or maybe by purchasing this product, which is going to give you the answer to this. Everybody's looking for something. Just make it clear and place it in the right spot, right? Make it as prominent as possible, because this is the most important part. Now, the last thing is knowing when to stop. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I've done this for a long time, and I think this is probably the hardest part, is you spend hours trying to perfect something, especially when it's creative. You already know this is something that's so personal to you, something that you don't really want other people to say something bad about. You just want to create something good. You want to create it for you, and you want it to be out there, and you want everybody to like it. Now, I'm going to be honest, that is not the best approach. You can't be so selfish. This is not art. Art could convey that emotional, personal state, whatever's going on in your own head, and you want to just put it out there. That's not the same thing. Design is different. And just know this message is for you. It's not for a graphic designer only, right? It's for anybody that is really creating anything to do with their business. Don't choose things just because you like them. And design needs to sell. That's really the whole purpose. You want people to buy into what you're looking to sell, or people to look into the thing that you're looking to offer. Say you feel like you've already touched on every point that we talked about, and you've worked on it for a bit, and maybe it's time to just launch it. Now, most good things take a lot of testing. I've been through moments where I created a whole campaign and it just did not work out the way I thought. Maybe it didn't get the right audience. Maybe I didn't convey the message properly, but that's okay. It's really hard to get this right the first time. You have to actually try different things. So once you launch this whole thing, pay attention to what's going on, right? If there's a way to gather some sort of analytics around that project, pay attention to them, watch them, understand where people are leaving, understand what people are clicking, and then you can always try different messaging. And this is called A/B testing. It is a professional step that's part of the whole creative process. So be creative and try different things. Now, a lot of people don't have access to those things like analytics or a whole group of people to test it. And the best way I think you could approach this, get an opinion from people you trust so that you can actually get the real deal. Have them look at that product, service, whatever it is that you're offering, and include this with what your competitors are offering too. And then ask them, okay, which one would you pick and why? In that way, you'll get an honest and real perspective. Do not ask for advice. Do not ask for an opinion on something that is going to hurt you, because it's happened to me. I asked for help and it turns out to be the most brutal help that I've ever heard in my life. And that sucks. So just make sure you're actually open to it. But really pay attention to what they're doing, right? The way that they pick up that thing, the way that they read through that article or website, whatever it is. If they skip through something, maybe it's because it didn't stand out as much. And remember, not everything needs to stand out at the same time. There needs to be priority. There needs to be hierarchy. So just understand the one thing you really need people to see and not miss it. Great design, it's not all about just the aesthetics and pretty pictures. That helps nobody. That's just art. Maybe this is somebody that likes to do all the research possible before they buy into something. This is all information you want to know so that you provide the right thing, you make sure your message is conveyed properly, and you just overall cater to the right audience. So I really hope this helps. And again, I'm going to be making a video soon about how to approach this with AI so you can save time. And there's really cool stuff out there that I want to talk about that you just need to see. So subscribe, like this video, just comment. If you have any questions, I'll be there to answer. All right, thank you.